Welcome to the Great Basin Fire Potential Briefing for Wednesday, September 20th. This is Gina McGuire. Over the next couple of days, we will continue to have impacts to fire potential, namely with the strong winds and lower relative humidity today over the southern half of the Great Basin, and these winds will be suppressed further south as we move into Thursday. We also have a strong area of low pressure which will move in across the Great Basin, bringing more significant precipitation to the north today, and then this precipitation will spread east and south as we move through Thursday and Friday, with also much cooler temperatures, with highs dropping to 10 to 20 degrees below normal and higher elevation snowfall in the area indicated in blue on Thursday. There are some winter storm warnings and winter weather advisories in effect for these higher elevation snowfalls, which could be significant in some areas. Over the last 24 hours, we've seen precipitation focused over the northern third of the Great Basin with only isolated thunderstorms, but wetting rains were reported with areas receiving over a quarter or over a half inch of precipitation fairly widespread across northern areas. Yesterday, fire activity was light across the Great Basin with no new large fires. Over the last week to 2 weeks, across the Great Basin, precipitation has been above normal across Idaho into Wyoming, and also over parts of southern Nevada, the Arizona Strip, and southern Utah, and into far western areas. We've also seen cooler temperatures across the Great Basin recently. ERCs have dropped significantly across the area to below the 50th percentile in many areas. However, some drier spots over western and northern Nevada into southern Idaho and northwest Utah are between the 50th and 70th percentile, but will continue to come down in the coming days with the cooler temperatures and increased precipitation. Looking at some of the fuel charts, you can see how significantly these ERCs have declined in recent days with the moisture and cold temperatures. Looking at our 10-hour fuel moisture, we still have some drier spots, especially across southern areas of the Great Basin, which will continue to see wind today, which will be the most significant area today if we do see starts. In some of these drier areas with the stronger winds, we will see growth on any fires. 100-hour fuel moisture is also somewhat lower over the southern half of the Great Basin, but has increased significantly in areas over the north where we've seen those cool temperatures and moisture. The satellite loop from this morning shows this deep area of low pressure dropping south into the northwest, also with very strong wind flow across much of the Great Basin. It's these winds ahead of this low that will be gusty today across most of the southern half of the area. The only showers this morning are up across central Idaho. We do have quite a bit of cloud cover over the rest of Idaho into Wyoming, and this is where we'll see the precipitation materialize this morning into this afternoon and eventually push south and east. Also, you can see the very cold air beneath this area of low pressure off the west coast with some of that cloud cover. Here's the weather pattern on the left for later today, and you can see how that moisture moves east and south, pushing across Idaho into Wyoming and also into northern Nevada, which is where we expect the most widespread shower activity today. Also further south, you see much drier air in place over southern areas of the Great Basin, and this is where our strongest winds will occur. Therefore, we continue to highlight the wind potential with this dry area over southern Utah into the Arizona Strip and southern Nevada, but also over parts of central and western Nevada, where we will continue to see gusty winds, even though relative humidity may be slightly higher. Looking at the picture for this afternoon, again, you can see where that widespread rain and higher elevation snowfall will occur over the northern half of the Great Basin, especially over northeast Nevada into southern Idaho and Wyoming. The image on the right shows those stronger winds. Those areas in brighter reds and pinks are generally gusts between 40 and 50 miles per hour. So we will see stronger southwest to west flow with the lowest relative humidity in the far south. As we move into Thursday, this trough of low pressure swings eastward, pushing the heaviest amounts of precipitation over eastern Idaho, Wyoming, eastern Nevada, and northwest Utah. Also, we will see temperatures continue to decrease over these areas with low fire potential expected. However, we will continue to see gusty winds with low relative humidity over parts of far southern Nevada, the Arizona Strip, and southern and southeast Utah tomorrow with those strong wind gusts. We will see wind gusts again between 40 and 50 miles per hour. However, you can see some of these brown areas indicating wind gusts above 50 miles per hour over parts of Utah into southern Nevada. You can see from the image on the left how we expect that precipitation to shift east and south as we move through tomorrow. So we will continue to see not only precipitation moving further east, but lowering snow levels, where we'll see snow levels tonight into tomorrow dropping to between 5,000 and 7,000 feet over the northern areas of the Great Basin. So again, we could see that heavy accumulating snowfall down to about 7,000 feet over Wyoming, northern Utah, and northeast Nevada. As we move into Friday, this area of low pressure starts to move eastward over southern and eastern Idaho, keeping precipitation focused over the northern half of the area. However, even in areas further south where there's still some dry air in place, we will see temperatures cooling significantly for generally low fire potential on Friday. On Friday, again, you can see those showers are mainly confined to Idaho and to the northern portions of the Great Basin, but we will see some scattered showers further south as well. However, the main change on Friday will not only be the cooler temperatures, but also the decrease in wind across much of Nevada and Utah. We will see some breezy north to northeast winds across Idaho, but again, moisture is pretty much solidified in place across the north. The overall forecast amount of precipitation for the next 3 days is shown here. Generally the heaviest amounts, again in the higher elevations, also over eastern and northeast Nevada, up into Wyoming and Idaho, and northwest Utah, where over an inch or inch and a half of total precipitation will occur, which again brings some pretty heavy amounts of snowfall to the high elevations. As we go into the weekend, we have a trough of low pressure in place across the Great Basin, but most of that heavier moisture will move over the far eastern portions of the area, with drier air pushing in from the west. We will continue to keep cool temperatures, but they will start to warm over the weekend. However, low fire potential with generally light to moderate wind flow and much cooler weather. As we move into Sunday into early next week, a ridge of high pressure starts to build off the west coast, which will push eastward. However, still some moderate northerly winds will continue across the Great Basin, keeping temperatures, although they will be warming, they will be still below normal. Similar conditions as we go into Monday and Tuesday next week. However, that ridge starts to build a little bit further eastward, so we may see temperatures return to near normal levels by Monday and Tuesday. So you can see on the significant fire potential outlook a little bit of drying over the western areas, but still generally low fire potential in most of the Great Basin. The forecast amount of precipitation over the next 7 days is largely attributed to what we'll see in the next 3 days. Again, mostly with that weather as that area of low pressure moves through, with drier weather by the weekend into early next week. Looking at the 8 to 14 day outlook, which takes us into the last few days of September into early October, and you can see a return of warmer conditions, especially to western areas of the Great Basin, along with below normal precipitation. So we will see a period of potentially warm and dry weather as we get later in the month into early October. That concludes our briefing for today. If you have any questions, feel free to contact us. Thank you for listening.